forward looking. He has to have goals and have a vision of the future. But then they should be realistic visions. They should be visions which can be realized and implemented. The other thing is you have to convince your team so that they all own that vision. It should not be a singular individual vision where you might find yourself isolated. The effective leaders, which all of you are, envision what they want and how to get it. Here you have to pick up the priorities from the basic values. Like all of you, the leader should be inspiring. He should display confidence in all that you do. And all is within inverted commas. By showing endurance in mental, physical, and spiritual stamina, you can also inspire others to reach for new heights. And then you have to take charge when necessary. This very simply stated, we keep on coming across a crisis with patients. And there are certain times where you, or rather any of us, might have to tackle that situation with the help of all of those present there at that point of time. That is when you have to take charge of the situation. You have to exhibit your coordinating faculties, your leadership qualities of galvanizing that team of your paramedics, of your other doctors, of your friends who are there at that point of time, of how to perform during that crisis. So the priorities have to be decided during crisis, and these will come only from the basic grounding that you have had in your specialty. This, of course, is just a repetition of something which all of you are. You wouldn't be here if you were not intelligent. So the leaders in the medical fraternity, they are intelligent, but you have to be a constant reader. You have to keep yourself updated. And of course, seeking challenging assignments, you don't have to seek, they come by themselves in the institution like ours. Next is a very sensitive issue. You don't not only have to be fair, but you have to exhibit your fairness also. You have to show fair treatment to all, because, as is mentioned, prejudice is the enemy of justice. You should not be unjust, and it should not be seen that you are unjust also. You have to display your empathy by being sensitive to their feelings. This almost all of us are in the present age. Gone are the days when seniors never even felt twice of mentioning certain harsh things when you had something really bad. Present day seniors really realize the sensitivity of the team members to the feelings, to the values, to the interests and well-being of the others. This, of course, is just a repetition of what all of you are. Yes, a leader has to be courageous, and it is to be seen that he is courageous, he or she might. Please excuse me of saying he all the time. I include the fairer members also. They should have the perseverance to accomplish a goal regardless of the seemingly insurmountable obstacles. Display a confident calmness when under stress. This, all of us who have been dealing in critical cases inculcate this quality, and as we climb up step by step in the years in seniority, you also start getting it. It is almost an unconscious imbibing of this quality of staying calm at the time of crisis. Once you have been through a number of these situations, it automatically comes into you in not panicking in the time of crisis. We have to be straightforward. This I don't know how many of us would agree to it. You have to make good decisions at the right time, that is right, and you have to use your sound judgment. But then in the present age, I don't know how many of us will agree that you have to be straightforward. Because not always being straightforward gets you the right or desired results. Sometimes it earns you a lot of not so pleasant comments, of course, always behind your back. But then it really doesn't matter. Please do be straightforward. If you have something to say, say it. If it is right. You have to be imaginative. That is equally important. Being sensitive. You have to be imaginative. Being a visionary. You have to be imaginative. You have to make timely and appropriate changes in your thinking, in your plans, in your methods. And you have to show creativity of thinking of new and better goals, ideas, solutions. Of course, this is not very much applicable to our profession, that is the medical profession, because you cannot be creative while treating certain things. You have to stick to the system that is prevalent. What are the perspectives of character and traits? This is just again recapitulating basically. Justice, you have to be just. You have to be straight in your judgment and fair. You should be dependable as a leader. You should have the initiative, the decisiveness. That will bring us to something which we'll discuss a little later. You have to be tactful. That is one word I have never understood. It is always the seniors who mention, when you have a problem and you go up to the senior, he always say, solve this problem, be tactful. I have really not understood what actually tactful means. But then you have to be tactful. That means you have to maintain the balance. Somewhere compromise, somewhere do not compromise. But the balance has to be maintained. Integrity, of course, cannot be questioned. Enthusiasm is another thing which is definitely desirable in the leader. Once he displays enthusiasm, the team also displays enthusiasm. Unselfishness definitely has to be shown. Whenever there are opportunities, it should be divided with the members of the team, not grab it yourself. Once you do it once or twice, the team moves away from you. Courage we have already mentioned. Knowledge, of course, we have mentioned. There should be loyalty to the institution and to the team also, and should have the qualities of endurance. This is what great men say, and this is one of the sayings. What kind of a leader are you going to be? The kind who thinks he is the best? What is the opinion of the house? Or will you be one of the very few greats who attribute success to the rest of the team? We were talking about decision making. This is what the books tell us of the existing systems of leadership. We have had this sort of systems of leadership in the past. Presently, we are fortunate that these sort of leadership qualities or the systems of leadership or styles of leadership is no longer that much prevalent, at least in our institutions. The autocratic leader who dictates what he wants, because present day dictating of what you want will not get you the results. It will get you only agitation. Yes, persuasive, yes, he has to be persuasive, the leader. He has to sell his ideas using morale and enthusiasm of team members. Presently, we have what is called as a consultative, where the leader discusses with the team, but then the slight catch here is he discusses with the team, but takes the decision himself. A slight better improvement from that is a democratic system, where he involves the team in the discussion and and the decision making. Continuing with it, again the leader makes the decision and announces to all. That is one type. There is one who makes the decision and sells it to all. The third is the presents his ideas and invites questions. Then there is the one who presents tentative decisions subject to change. That means he still has that open. Next is one who explains the problem, gets suggestions, and then makes a decision. This, I presume, can give you the best of results. There is the other also where they define the limits and then ask the group itself to take the decision. And lastly, where you ask your subordinates to take the decision within defined limits. How many of you have heard about Lord Baden-Powell? The juniors, please raise your hands. How many of you have heard about Lord Baden-Powell? We have very important officials of the scouting movement in railways present in the auditorium. He is the founder of the Scouts and Guides movement, Lord Smith Baden-Powell. What were his suggestions or ideas on leadership? The first thing is to begin with, there should be wholehearted faith and belief in the rightness of his cause. The leader should be cheering. He should be energetic personality with sympathy and friendly understanding of his followers. Although this applies mainly to the scout leadership that is to be displayed, but it is applicable to any type of team that you are leading. The leader should have confidence in himself and a thorough knowledge of the job. And finally, the leader must practice what he preaches. The whole thing is based on comradeship and competence. What could be the failures in leadership? Inability to organize details, lack of whatever we have said in favor of what should be inculcated or encouraged or developed. All those things, when they are lacking, that causes a failure in leadership. Emphasis on title, emphasis on an authoritarian form, unwillingness to render humble service, selfishness, intemperance. The second last one, of course, is something which people from our profession, the medical fraternity, have to always remember. Fear not the competition from your followers. If you have given your sweat and blood into develop the skills and expertise of your followers, accept it. Accept him as your comrade, your friend, not as your competitor. But mostly we fail. Our human instincts surmount our rationality, and that is when the fear of competition from followers in many places tends to make the leader curb his urge to develop the followers. And finally, disloyalty. Finally, what is leadership? Very simply stated, it is being concerned about people, how you handle them. It is communicating with people and reacting to people. Here, for those of you who have joined late, I have made a very humble request to the teachers of the postgraduates of this institution of stressing on this part. Communicating with people, which most of us don't get a chance of learning in our mother institutions. Here, the teachers of this institution are experts in communication. I would just appeal to them during the course of their teaching of their respective specialities to devote a little bit of time in training the postgraduates in the art of communicating not only with the patients, but also with the staff, also with the colleagues. And reacting to people also comes within communication, because the first syllable of management, as you all know, has been very unjustly said, man and not woman. Unfortunately, it's man. Thank you for your patient hearing, and I must thank MD and Dr. Jha for giving me the chance to speak in front of you. Hope I have not taken too much of your time.